6:45. This is the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. Here is the news edited by Lal Mallavarachi and read by J. Yogaraj. First the headlines. Buddhists all over the world celebrate the Vesak Full Moon Poya Day today. Religious programs including SIL campaigns have been organized island-wide to mark this Vesak Poya Day. The President in his Vesak message invites all to unite in solidarity to rebuild and affluence Sri Lanka. Around 7,000 Dansal registered for Vesak season. More than 500 prisoners have received a presidential pardon in view of the Vesak. A penumbral lunar eclipse will be visible to Sri Lanka today. Veteran actor Nyananga Gunawardena passed away. News overseas: US denies masterminding Moscow drone attack. In sports, Sri Lanka cricket men's emerging team will visit Japan for a 5-match T20 series next week. And those are the headlines. Buddhists all over the world celebrate the Vesak Full Moon Poya Day today. Buddhists commemorate the significant events of Siddhartha Gautama's birth, enlightenment and passing away of Gautam Buddha on the Vesak Full Moon Poya Day. Vesak Poya Day is especially significant for Sri Lankans as Lord Buddha visited Kelaniya at the invitation of Naga King Maniakika of Kelaniya on a Vesak Poya Day. It is said that the arrival of Prince Vijaya and the commencement of the construction of the Ruan Valley Sire by King Dutugamunu also took place on Vesak Full Moon Poya Day. Renowned Venerable Ananda Thera has also passed away on a Vesak Poya Day. President Ranil Wickremesinghe in his Vesak message said it is imperative to rise above all differences and join together in unity and service as espoused by the Buddha. And this thrice blessed day of Vesak, being most important in the Buddhist calendar, dawns with sacred significance. It is a revered occasion to venerate his teachings based on the concept of compassion by participating in activities of piety and giving of alms through devotion to service the humanity. Religious programs including SIL campaigns have been organized island-wide to mark Vesak. The state Vesak festival is being held at the Sri Ratanasiri Piriven Viharaya, Kebellavela, Madampe, Chilau in Puttalam this week. Prime Minister Dinesh Gunawardena will attend the state Vesak festival celebration today. The President also inaugurated the Buddha Rashmi Vesak Zone, which is the national Vesak celebration organized by the Hunupitiya or Gangarama Temple in Colombo on Thursday. The President's media division stated that the Vesak program includes various events organized at the Golf's Shangri-La Green and Presidential Secretariat premises till tomorrow. The government has decided to celebrate this year's Vesak festival on a grand scale as per the directives of the President. The National Broadcasting Corporation, Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation, has also organized several events island-wide to celebrate Vesak festival. Special security measures will be in place across the island in view of the upcoming Vesak festival this week, police spokesman SSP Nihal Thaldua says. Addressing a media briefing in Colombo, the police spokesman said this security program would be implemented at Vesak zones, temples and other places where religious events are being held. Meanwhile, the Public Inspectors Association says that around 7,000 Dansal have been registered for this year's Vesak season. However, they have decided to inspect the unregistered Dansal too, the association said. The association further mentioned that around 3,000 PHIs will be deployed for this purpose. This news comes to you from Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. Annual Siripada pilgrimage season will end on Vesak Full Moon Poya Day today. The chief incumbent of Siripada Sthana, Venerable Bengamue Sri Dhammadin Thero, said the casket of a sacred relic, the golden statue of the deity and regalia would be taken in procession tomorrow to Nallathaniya Sripada Dhamma Centre, and from there by motorcade through Mausekele, Lakshapana, Kithulgala and Avisawala to Galpotawala Sripada Rajamaha Vihare. More than 500 prisoners have received presidential pardon in view of the Vesak. The President has granted an amnesty to these prisoners in accordance with the powers vested in him under Article 34 of the Constitution. Prisons Commissioner General Chandan Ekanayaka says that the inmates who have been sentenced by the courts for illegal gatherings, robbery, housebreaking, treason and kidnapping will not be granted this presidential pardon. A penumbral lunar eclipse will be visible to Sri Lanka today. Professor Chandan Jayaratna of Colombo University said the eclipse begins at 8:44 p.m. Sri Lankan Standard Time with the moon entering the penumbra of the Earth's shadow and ends at 1:01 a.m. tomorrow. Lunar eclipses occur on full moon days when the Earth comes between the Sun and the Moon, which results in the obstruction of some or all the sun's light from reaching the moon. Minister of Power and Energy Kanchana Wijesekara has held a discussion with the first two groups of owners and management of fuel stations that will be made available to new suppliers. Taking to Twitter, Minister Wijesekara stated that the discussion was held this last morning. The minister further stated that 450 fuel stations have been categorized into three separate groups of 150 that will be made available to the new foreign fuel service operators. Veteran actor Nyananga Gunawardena passed away yesterday at the age of 78. He was receiving treatment at the Colombo National Hospital at the time of his demise. Gunawardana's remains will lie at a private funeral parlour in Borella from 8:30 a.m. today, and the final rites will be performed at 3 p.m. tomorrow. Starting his acting career after starring in the film Hemanali Ada Minisu, directed by Parakrama De Silva in 1980, Gunawardena acted in a number of movies including Saptakanya in 1993, Sailama in 1995, Taranaya in 1997 and Maharaja Ajasat in 2015 and in many teledramas. And that ends the local segment for the time.
The main news story is brought to you by Siddhalepa Vedamahatmya.
Sri Lanka's official reserve assets in April 2023 stood at $2,755 million, and the Central Bank of Sri Lanka says. This indicates an increase of 2.2% from the official reserve asset figure of $2,694 million in March 2023. The university teachers have decided to take part in the evaluation of answer scripts of 2022 advanced level examination with effect from today. Addressing a press briefing last evening, Federation of the University Teachers Association Chairman Professor Shyama Banekar said its members would not subdued by political pressurization. Professor Banekar said the FUTA has called off its trade union action, however, vowed to continue their fight. And that was the top news.
The main news story was brought to you by Siddhalepa Vedamahatmya.
Moving on to Washlight, a National Dengue Control Unit Medical Officer and Assistant Secretary of the Sri Lanka Medical Association, Dr. Lahiru Kodituwako, said the number of dengue cases that have been reported in Sri Lanka has exceeded 30,000 in the last 4 months of this year. According to the SLMA data, during this period, 15 persons have died of the mosquito-borne disease. Addressing a press conference held in Colombo yesterday, Dr. Kodituwako said the highest number of dengue patients are reported from the districts of Colombo and Gampaha in the Western Province. And moving on to world news headlines, US denies masterminding Moscow drone attack. Pakistan school shooting leaves several teachers dead. UN says Sudan generals unwilling to end fighting. And those are the headlines of the world news. The US has denied Russian claims it masterminded an alleged drone attack on the Kremlin on Wednesday aimed at assassinating President Vladimir Putin. A day after accusing Ukraine of carrying out the alleged attack, Mr. Putin's spokesman said it had been done with Washington's support. U.S. National Security spokesman John Kirby called it a ludicrous claim, and Ukraine said it had nothing to do with the alleged attack. At least 7 people, including some teachers, have been shot dead at a school in Pakistan's northwestern Kurram district, authorities say. Multiple gunmen were involved in the incident, police have said, which occurred in the staff room of the government high school Tari Mangal. This shooting is thought to have been linked to another earlier in the day where a man was shot in his car in the district, officials say. The UN's top aid official has warned that the will to end the fight still was not there after speaking to Sudan's rival military leaders. Martin Griffith told the BBC that Sudan's descent into violence was now at a dangerous flipping point. And he called for security guarantees from the warring sides of allow humanitarian aid into the country. The UN warns that the fighting could force hundreds of thousands of Sudanese to flee their homes. And that's world news.
Development news.
The Cabinet of Ministers has granted their consent to the proposal forwarded by the Cultural Affairs Minister to manage the Tele-Cinema Park in Ranminitan under a public-private partnership. Dr. Bandula Gunawardena says the Tele-Cinema Park will be developed under the public-private partnership after considering the report submitted by the relevant agency. In sports, Sri Lanka Cricket will send its men's emerging team to Japan for a 5-match T20 series next week. SLC said this series was organized at the request of the Japanese Cricket Association as their national team prepares for the East Asia Pacific Regional Final in July, which is the part of the qualification pathway for the 2024 TCC Men's T20 World Cup. The 5 matches will be held between 10th to 15th of May and will be played at Sano International Cricket Grounds. And that was sports news.
Go ekak thiyana youth eකට life එකේ change එකට නියමෙට set වෙන්න ඇස් වහගෙන දඟපු වීන හැබැයි කරන්න youth එකට නියමෙට set වෙන friendship එක මෙන්න.
The all-new NSB Ithru account, NSB IAM, a plan for your dream.
Business News, sponsored by National Savings Bank, the safest place for your money.
State Minister of Finance Ranjit Simbalapitte says Sri Lanka will announce its debt restructuring strategy within this month. The government also intends to bring down taxes and decrease debt to GDP in the coming years. Speaking to reporters yesterday, Simbalapitte said the government plans to gradually reduce newly increased taxes over the next 5 years once revenue targets have been met upon further expansion of the tax base.
Business News, sponsored by National Savings Bank, the safest place for your money.
Go ekak thiyana youth එකට life එකේ change එකට නියමෙට set වෙන්න ඇස් වහගෙන දඟපු වීන හැබැයි කරන්න youth එකට නියමෙට set වෙන friendship එක මෙන්න.
The all-new NSB Ithru account, NSB IAM, a plan for your dream.
Economic news, courtesy of...
For the 5th consecutive year, LOLC is awarded People's Financial Services Brand of the Year at the 2022 Slim Kantar People's Awards. As the People's Financial Services Brand of the Year, LOLC continues to place the customer first, and this has won the hearts, minds and trust of Sri Lankans, with yet another prestigious award as proof of this lasting commitment. LOLC. Imagine the possibilities.
Sri Lanka's foreign reserves grew 2.2% to $2,755 million in April 2023 from $2,694 million in March, central bank data showed. Sri Lanka's rupee appreciated from around 360 to US dollar to 320 and has since been at that level. And that was economic news.
LOLC Finance is taking the power of innovation to the next level, winning 5 golds at the Technovation Awards 2022, leading the digital revolution with cutting-edge interbanking digital payments. LOLC Finance claims the overall gold award, whilst also claiming an extraordinary victory in digital banking.
Weather report.
The Met Department says the showers or thunder showers will occur at several places in eastern, central and Ubon provinces and in Hambantota district during the night. Showers will occur in western and northwestern provinces and in Jaffna, Kilinochchi, Mannar, Galle and Mathura districts during the morning hours. And that was the weather report. To wind up this news broadcast, let's look at the main points once again. Buddhists all over the world celebrate the Vesak full moon Poya Day today. Religious programs, including seal campaigns, have been organized island-wide to mark this Vesak. The President in his Vesak message invites all to unite in solidarity to rebuild and influence Sri Lanka. Around 7,000 dancers registered for Vesak season. More than 500 prisoners have received a presidential pardon in view of the Vesak. A penumbral lunar eclipse will be visible to Sri Lanka today. Veteran actor Nyananga Gunawardena passed away. News overseas: US denies masterminding Moscow drone attack. In sports, Sri Lanka cricket men's emerging team will visit Japan for a 5-match T20 series next week. And with that, we conclude this morning news broadcast of Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation.